Once upon a time, a woman lay sick and invalid at her home, with the giant leg sore that refuses to heal. It was usually wrapped in dry banana bark. Every day her husband would take care of her and would take food and water to the poor invalid who grew fatter and extremely healthy, except that her swollen leg stank worse than the skunk. The homestead nestled among the high forest of the Nyandarua forest, and Kiranyaga had a serene and magical air. Here is how the white man described it, as seen at the turn of the 19th century. Each circle of round thatched huts, enclosed in a wooden palisade, sheltered a single family, in the widest sense of the term. Each wife had her separate hut and her granary, a smaller round thatched hut built on stilts to keep out rats and other vermin. The whole presented an almost idyllic pastoral scene. The sun shone, goats bleated, children called to each other, women pounded grain with their wooden pestles in mortars made from hollow logs. The air had a sparkle in it. You could almost feel the sap of growth in your blood. These people were indeed fortunate in their habitat. It was in this circle of life that a kind of perfect peace settled in the homestead at around noon when the sun was overhead. With the burning equatorial sun, all had to hide from the sun. All the women were out in the fields anyway, and so were the men with the animals. Babies were asleep, and children had retreated to the forest trees in search of fruit. The homestead was quiet and would be perfectly still. One day the invalid's co-wife also did not go out, and as the homestead lay perfectly quiet at that hour, she beheld a lone figure come out into the courtyard and break the silence with dance and song. "I have no disease. I have no disease. It's only a rotten rat wrapped in my leg." In the evening, when the husband came home, the thing was reported to him, and thus was our sick invalid found out and uncovered. Today, the women and even men do not wrap rotten rats on their legs, but it is not that the rotten rats have been forgotten. In many rural villages, when one falls sick, the church district goes to visit the sick person, and they bring the poor sick fellow some money they have collected to aid the poor patient's recovery. If the patient was a member of a merry-go-round, the group also pays a visit. Sometimes the patient is visited by quite a good number of groups, who all put in something to assist the patient. It is for this bounty that we see some unscrupulous people take advantage of this collective generosity to get sick for profit. In a year, you find several members of the same family getting sick or finding creative ways to be visited. I can report with authority that some if these incidents are nothing but rotten rats wrapped in banana leaves.